So, hello everyone, myself Khushi Ravia, and my today's topic is post-colonial theories in Bollywood films. These are my personal information. This is a table of contents. So my research question is, how do contemporary Indian films reinterpret post-colonial concepts of Orientalism, subalternity, hybridity, and national culture of challenge colonial and social hierarchies? And hypothesis is, Indian cinema uses post-colonial frameworks to transform narratives of oppression into expression of resistance and identity formation, and analyzing Indian films through post-colonial theories such as Said's Orientalism, Spivak's subaltern, and Homi Bhabha's hybridity reveals how they challenge dominations as assert agency and contribute to collective social and cultural consciousness. Introduction. Post-colonial theory examines how the legacies of colonialism continue to influence culture, identity, and power in the modern world, and drawing on the ideas of Anya Lumba, Edward Said, Gayatri Spivak, Homi Bhabha, and Frantz Fanon, and it's reveal how colonial domination shaped the system of knowledge, representations, and resistance. And the framework highlights the issues or race, gender, class, and nation, showing how formerly a colonized society reinterpreted and reclaimed their histories. And within this context, Indian cinema serve as a cultural space where narratives of oppression are transformed into expression of resistance and identity, and formation reflecting the ongoing negotiation between colonial past and post-colonial realities. So, post-colonialism is the famous quote of Anya Lumba: "A new human utterance could be seen as innocent. Any set of words could be analyzed to reveal not just an individual but a historical conscience at work." In this book, he said about post-colonialism and examines the legacy of colonialism, including its cultural, political, and economic impacts, and explores themes such as colonial discourse, anti-colonial movements, and identity formation and interactions with gender and sexuality. So here is a theory, Frantz Fanon's theory on national, cultural, and decolonization. And his famous quote is, "A national culture is the whole body of efforts made by a people to describe, justify, and praise the action through which that people have created itself and keeps itself in existence." His definition is national culture who shared values, belief, customs, dress, food, and social behaviors that define a nation. And his colonial impact is colonizers devalued native cultures, imposed foreign laws, and disrupted tradition, cause and culture suppression. And culture and nation impact on true liberations and requires reclaiming and pre-colonial national culture and resisting assimilation into European norms. And its African context is Western individualism and foraging, food, dress, religion, and education eroded communal African values. And Fanon's message is national consciousness is essential for culture renewal, and international influence flow from strong national culture. Other one is Orientalism theory. Then Edwards says that the Orient was almost a European invention, a place of romance and exotic begin haunting memories and landscapes. In this Edwards book, he critiques how Western disciplines, literature, history, and anthropology constructed the East as a inferior, exotic, and static to justify colonial domination. And it's bullied on anti-colonial was like Amy says it, and Michael Lyricis, who exports how Western anthropology served imperial interest. And He said, extend this critique of culture text, showing the European representation maintain epistemic control over colonized people. And Orientalism becomes not just a field of study, but a political instrument shaping how the East is imagined, governed, and silenced. In Spivak's The Subaltern, key concept is subaltern refers to groups excluded from socio-political power and whose voices are silenced in dominated narratives. And in idea of subaltern as a difference and subaltern effect is emphasize invisibility or marginalized group under colonial and post-colonial regimes and focused on exclusion from social mobility. And its social relevance is moves beyond theory to analyze real world and hierarchies and struggles, and offers a framework to study operation agency and political exclusion. And Homi Bhabha is hybridity and mimicry. In this hybridity, he emerged from cultural contact between colonizer and colonized, and it represent new identities and meaning formed in the in between. And is a challenge is colonial binaries. Uh, uh, and in mimicry, he said colonized subject imitate the colonizers' language, dress, and behavior almost the same, but not quite. And mimicry destabilizes authority because imitation both affirms and mocks colonial power. Here, example of movie Lagan, who published in 2001. Here is a Frantz Fanon theory explores when the cricket match evolves into a symbolic site and anti-colonial resistance, and villagers are collective struggle. Transcends and caste and class and fosters nation consciousness, and when they victory signs culture pride and empowerment. Here also Edward says Orientalism is explored by film Lagan is early in the movie. British offers portrait villagers and background help, and Lagan is a text symbolize colonial explanation and authority. uh, is also Lagan film also explores these both theories. And PK, it's the Edward Orientalism theory and Homi Bhabha's hybridity theory are explored, and how PK is how behave, his language, dress, his rituals, his question are and is a hybrid identity established fixed categories of religion, nationality, and morality. And this article 15 movie is also connected to Frantz Fanon's decolonization theory and Gayatri Spivak subaltern theory. In this movie, Ian becomes a conduit for subaltern voices and highlighting politics of representatives, and he become a voice of subaltern people. In conclusion, postcolonial theory uncovers the lasting impact of colonialism on cultural identity and power structures while highlighting the voices and experiences of those marginalized by history. And thinkers like Lumba, Edward Said, Spivak, Homi Bhabha, and Fanon provides frameworks to analyze resistance and hybridity and context of such a Indian cinema. These ideas reveal how narratives of oppression can be reimagined as acts of culture reclamation and identity formation, demonstrating in the continuing relevance of post-colonial thought in understanding contemporary society. So these are my references.
So, Khushi, my question is: do you find another Bollywood film that reflect post-colonial theories and how it reflect?
Yes, there are several movies who explores postcolonial theory, like Rang De Basandi, who explores Fanon's decolonization theory, and other one is Swades, who explore Homi Bhabha's hybridity theory, and other one is Mother India. This film also explore Fanon's decolonization theory and Spivak's subaltern theory.
My question is that what role does language play in post-colonial identity formation?
Language play major role because language do both oppress and empower, and it's help to natives to uh, it's a help to native to raise their voice, and also help to marginalize the people. Thank you.